This is a table beer. What the hell is a table beer? Well, pretty much it's a pretty low alcoholic beer that you sit on the table and drink at the table. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're doing another beer from the Beer52 box. This is called simply Table Beer. It's from the Wild Card Brewery. Now, table beer, I've not had a table beer before. It is a style of beer that basically comes in at quite a low alcohol, anything between 2 and 4% really. This one is 2.7%, so it's pretty low. It's a low alcohol beer, but the question is that does that low alcohol mean that we're losing out in terms of flavour? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get this beer out of this can and into a glass and find out whether a table beer style is something that you can enjoy. Obviously it's going to be highly sessionable, and I just wonder whether there's any other characteristics. From what I've heard, that table beer sort of originated from places like France and Belgium, something that you sit at a table and drink. It's something that you would have almost like a side drink that you can have with food because it's not highly alcoholic. I don't know whether that is. I think a lot of people just jumped on the start and say, well, let's make a low alcohol beer and call it table beer. So anyway, beer in the glass. We've got this sort of yellowy orange sort of haze. One finger, but quite compacted white fluffy head. Let's get some aroma, shall we? Yeah, it smells quite nice actually. You got sort of oranges, sort of tangerines, bit of passion fruit in there. And then there's a little bit of citrus in there as well. Yeah, it smells quite nice actually. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Quite flavoursome. Not unsimilar to, say, a pale ale. It's very light. It's got quite high levels of carbonation. I'm going in again. Flavours similar to the aroma. Passion fruit running through it, then a sweet sort of tangerine type of orange flavour. And then a sort of, I don't, you get a slight citrus on the back end. Low bitterness. You're not getting much sort of pininess or anything like that. It's not bad. If you like that sort of very sort of like a mandarin orange or satsuma side of orange, it's got that very orangey sort of flavour to it. But even though the carbonation is quite high and it's quite light, I don't know, I'm changing my mind about the carbonation now. And maybe it's just because of it's very, I've literally taken it out of the fridge to drink it. Yeah, the carbonation is quite high. And it's quite light. So it has those sort of characteristics of a low alcohol beer. You've seen some of the low alcohol beers, or zero alcohol beers, I should say, that we've reviewed on the channel in January. The body is similar in terms of its characteristics, in that it's highly carbonated and it's very sort of very light. You would expect that for a low alcohol. 2.7. Obviously, if you had 10 of these, you probably you don't want to be getting in the car, basically. Even 5 or 6 of them, really. So it's not the sort of beer that you can drink when you're driving or whatever. But it's a sort of beer that you can drink. Maybe you want to have a few beers at a barbecue, but you don't want to get completely smashed. And you know what craft beer's like when you're looking at 6-7% IPAs. 2 or 3 of those and you can start sort of forgetting what you're doing and where you are, sort of thing. But with something like this, you can obviously drink quite a lot. I don't think it's taken away the flavour. It's got a lot of those sort of flavours that you've felt before. But there is a slight hint of a little bit watery. But then, we've had supermarket beers that tasted watery, but they're still 4.5%. So I think that's quite good, in terms of you're getting something with a sort of flavour of 4.5%. But of course, you can't. The hops are not singing. You're not getting a nice body in a beer. And I almost ask myself, well, why have a table beer? For a couple of percent more, if you can get more flavour. This doesn't really do anything for me at all. There's not really a certain flavour that's completely unique. It's orangey. It's got a bit of passion fruit in there. We've had that in beers before, but as I say, the carbonation is high and it's very, very light. It's easy to drink though. It's not bad. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for this Wild Card Brewery table beer. It's coming in at 2.7%. We don't know what sort of hops it's got in it. It says it's got water, barley, wheat, oat, hops and yeast. It doesn't say, it just says naturally hazy. So we're not quite sure exactly what sort of hops are in that. Starting with aroma though. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of an aroma there. It's orangey with a bit of passion fruit. It's not the most, it's not that lovely tropical sort of aroma, and you're not even getting, real sort of big hitting sort of aromas, which, you probably could expect to some extent with a very low alcohol type of beer. So I'm giving it 11 out of 20 for aroma. Appearance, well, I mean, it's got a slight haze, but I wouldn't say it was overly hazy. You got a bit of lacing of the glass there. You've got the head is sort of retained a little bit. It's okay, but nothing special. 7 out of 10 for appearance. Flavour. I'm going to go in again because it's difficult because it's such a low alcohol. You are getting flavor. You are getting some flavour there, and the flavour's similar to the aroma. You're getting this sort of orangey, sort of almost like a mandarin or a clementine or satsuma. There's all those different oranges, but to some extent they taste the same. There's that sweet sort of orange flavour. It's not like a bitter orange. It's very sweet. And then you probably get a little bit. You can also sort of pick out a bit of passion fruit in there as well. And that's about it, really. Yes, you could say there's a bit of other citrus like lemons in there, but it's quite subtle. You're not getting grapefruit. You're certainly not getting any sort of tropical flavours at all. The body's very, very light and the carbonation is quite high and a little bit harsh. It's easy drinking though. I mean, ice cold in the summer, you can knock these back and it's a pleasant drink with the knowledge that, you can have a few of those and you're not gonna get that drunk if you drank 2 or 3 of those. Because it's 2 or 3 of these small little cans is equivalent to 1 can of beer pretty much. So you can smash that down. It will quench your thirst to some extent. It's still got alcohol in it. So not unpleasant, but just not. If I'm sitting at home and having 1 or 2 beers, I don't want to be drinking a table beer like this. It just doesn't. I don't see where it makes sense unless you want to be drinking very light beer, but with a little bit of flavour. And there's more flavour than there is in a very light lager like a Bud Light or a Coors Light. Those sort of beers, which are a bit more alcoholic, but they've got no taste to them at all. So it's got a bit more taste if you want to drink something a bit lower in alcohol because you want to have a few of them, for example. Flavour-wise, I'm giving it 30 out of 40. Value for money though, yeah, I mean this costs £3 from Beer52. It's in a free 30ml can. It's 2.7%. It's not great value for money. I don't think I'd ever choose to pay that sort of money on a beer like that. It just makes no sense. So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 for value. And then my overall experience, well, again, it's inoffensive. It's typical of these beers from Beer52 this month. Is another one like, oh, well, let's just stick that one in. There's nothing to it, really. It's a step up from your no alcohol beers, but I just don't see why I would want to drink this. It's inoffensive. It's pleasant. It's, if you like that sort of orangey flavour, then you probably would like it. But there's just so much other craft beer out there that's just a lot more better, and there's more to it, you know, than this. If you want something low in alcohol, then it's okay. But I'm giving it 10 for my overall experience. And we top those scores up, and we get, let me just calculate them very quickly, 64. So 64, it's a Bon Jovi beer, bland, a little bit of, it can, you know, from time to time, it can perform something good, like a Living on a Prayer or a Dry County or Keep the Faith. But most of the time, it's quite bland. And, you know, in these times, do you want to be listening to Bon Jovi? Because I've heard some of the latest stuff and it's very bland. And it's a good description of this beer. So I don't really recommend it, but, you know, whether there's a table beer out there that's really, really good, let me know. You know, maybe there's something that's just really special. If you can get a really low alcohol beer, because obviously if it's got low alcohol, it's probably got a little slightly less calories as well. So it's probably a bit better for you. But then, you know, people are going to think, oh, well, I can drink more of it. So, you know, would you drink 3 of those opposed to 1 decent beer? I'd still rather drink the 1 decent beer. But let me know what you think. Don't forget, of course, if you comment on any of the Beer 52 videos this month, you're in with a chance to win a golden ticket. You get 8 free beers. No postage to pay, no money to pay. You get your first box of beers for free. You have to sign up to a subscription, but basically as soon as you get that first box for free, you can cancel it anytime. And it's, you know, as much as the internet will tell you otherwise, it's pretty easy to cancel it. You can send them an email. Within a few days, they will confirm that and they will cancel it. So don't feel that they're going to sort of take your money and that's it and you can't get out of the system, because you can. I just think there's a lot of, you know, incorrect news out there in terms of cancelling your Beer 52, saying it's, you know, it's easier to, you know, break out of prison than it is to cancel your Beer 52 subscription. It's not. It's quite easy. So get your free beers, cancel them if you want. You get 8 beers for free. You know, you'd probably rate this much higher than I would, because, you know, you've paid 0 for it. So all you got to do is comment on any of these videos, for the Beer 52 videos that we do. Obviously, if you put something in the comment that says, yes, I'd love to win some beer, then I know that you're not a Beer 52 subscriber already, and you obviously can enter it. The only other thing is you've got to be a UK resident as well. So you've got to be a UK resident and not a current Beer 52 subscriber to be in with a chance. I've got 6 tickets. I want to give them all away this month. Now, so far, I've only had a few comments on the other videos. So if I only get 6, then everyone who comments and wants to win will win. So I've rabbited on enough. I'm going to go and enjoy this sliver of beer, and I'm going to look for one in the fridge that's got a little bit more alcohol in it. Until the next one, you know what we're going to do. Keep on rocking.